the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
It's one of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
Welcome back. We got a great Stoned Appetit interview. As y'all know, it's 420 week, and what better way to celebrate the holidays than with a good buzz. We're going to be sitting here and chatting about one of the newcomers in the edible game for Colorado. But before we dive into that, let's check in with CB. CB, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I don't even know. I'm in a daze. But it's probably because of these edibles that we got from our guests today.
Zach and Emily Sobie, is that I say that right?
Yes, sir. You got it.
Fuck yes, I'm really bad at names. Are the founders of Skyland Canteen, the new edible on the scene. But the name may not be that new to you, and the faces won't be either. They've got a history in Colorado. They know the edible game, and do they know food? By God, we've got a lot to talk about. But before we dive into all that, Eve is not on microphone today, so let's walk over here. How are we, Eve?
I'm fantastic.
Awesome.
She got a little close there.
Yeah, she wasn't happy. She wasn't happy. But we've got a kick-ass episode for you today, and it's presented by our friends at Seed Money Consulting. Yes, tax season has passed. Maybe you missed the deadline. That's totally understandable. Been there, done that. Filing for extensions, looking to just set yourself up for 2024 and beyond, as well as financial planning for your company or for a family. No matter what the situation that may occur, Seed Money Consulting is there for you. So reach out to them. They're a Denver-based company. Just do the old Google machine, Seed Money Consulting, or you can go straight to their website at seedmoneyconsulting.com and put in a little plug. Say, hey, I need to talk to somebody. Let me make sure my ducks in a row. That's what they're here for. They've worked with folks in all industries, especially the cannabis space, those that kind of have that gray area in terms of banking and financials, those that are maybe 1099s because they do a stupid fucking podcast and just dick around in a basement all week. They are here to assist and make sure you don't leave any money on the table. So check out seedmoneyconsulting.com and they'll take care of you. Eve was just looking at the monitors and it made me scared because I thought that was like my best ad read in a year.
You didn't curse in it, did you?
I don't know, fuck all, let's go. Okay, Zach and Em, y'all ready to party?
Let's do it.
We start every episode the same way, especially with first timers. So we're gonna pop y'all's cherry real nice like. Chris, you do the honors.
All right, ladies first. Are you a transplant or a local here to Colorado?
Transplant.
Oh, okay. Where are
Yep.
you coming from?
So I grew up in Michigan, but Zach and I moved here from Chicago together. So that's where our relationship started when we lived in Michigan, and then moved to Chicago, and then ended up in Denver. So it's been a little bit of a transition coming from the Midwest to here, but we really like it. Yeah, and so.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from New York City.
New York City.
Like tried and true. Like if I post a breakfast sandwich, he's like, it's not that good. It's like
Stop.
No, he knows good quality food. He's true Northeast. He'll put you on dank-ass sandwiches. Chris is also a regular up there. Y'all are about to have a field day.
So were you like born
Born in Manhattan, raised in Manhattan, lived in Manhattan until I was 24 when I met Emily, and I moved to Michigan.
So at what age?
Yankees or Mets? Real quick?
Yankees.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
At what age, like when you were going to school, at what age did your parents just say, fuck it, find your way to school?
When I was 9. But then I found out later that my mom used to follow me and my friend to school like 5
Oh,
blocks
that's
back.
sweet.
Yeah, there was a little girl in my building that went to the same school as me, and we would meet in the lobby and go walk to school.
I mean, I know it's not like that big of a topic, but to me, like growing up in a big city like that day when you had to go to school by yourself, that would be absolutely terrifying.
It wasn't too far.
Dude, they grew up so fast. We've talked about this on the podcast. Chris, his sister used to live up there for a minute, so Chris would be up there fairly often. He knows Astoria like the back of his hand.
Oh, very nice.
But they grew up so fast. You see 12-year-olds like dipping and dodging, sliding on the tops of like cabbies, and I'm like, like double ducking, just looking around, like, and riding the subway. It's confusing as a 34-year-old idiot. I mean, these 12-year-olds do it fluidly. It's just
Yeah,
magnificent.
and you didn't even have like a phone or anything to help guide you back then.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know how we did it without MapQuest or anything.
I bet you fucked up a few times, got on the wrong train.
No, it wasn't too bad.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what brought y'all to Colorado from Michigander?
Well, we moved to Chicago actually for about 4 years.
And then I think this just like wanting to be in a new place that was also a big city that like neither of us knew. So it was like, oh, Healy grew up in New York City. I grew up in a small town in Michigan. And like, we live in Chicago now. What's the next big, like, where's a big city we can go to together? And it can be like our new territory for both of us. So that was kind of why we chose here. And
Definitely.
you know, we have our daughter here now. So it just feels very much like it's turned into our home.
She was born here. So
And
she's
when
amazing.
did you guys make it here to Colorado?
In 2014.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2014.
Okay, so kind of at that time when like we had recreational, that went in 2012. So things
Yeah,
are
just
starting
before we moved here, they went recreational.
Yeah,
here.
that was another part of the reason we're like, oh, this is great. We love weed, we smoke, and we even like we started dabbing even back then when we lived in Chicago. Like that was our kind of, you know, and that was back
Look
at
at these crackheads.
that's exactly. That was when what people were like,
No
what
one
are
was
you
dabbing.
doing? And so we were like, oh, this is great. We can live in a place where like this won't seem like just the thing we love a lot in our life won't seem like we're like going out on a limb doing it. Everyone we knew in Chicago drank a lot.
Right.
It was like the drinking scene. So I don't know, for us, it just seemed like a natural place to come because of that.
Totally.
When y'all came to Colorado, were y'all already thinking like, hey, maybe we should get into the weed game? Or was that just...
No, not at all.
Okay.
Honestly, we were thinking about opening a food truck or like getting into the food business. And
I knew that.
That was our passion, being in food. And, you know, we were in the industry for a long time before that, both of us separately. And then when we got together, our ideas were great. We were in Chicago trying to get something going, and it never really came to fruition. We thought moving out here would spark a little more creativity.
Okay, had you have started a food truck here in Denver, what would it have been called? And what would you have been slinging?
Man, that's a good question. So we were really, I feel like we were almost ahead of the game on the fried chicken sandwiches. Like it kind of blew up in like 2016, this fried chicken.
Nashville Hot kind of took over. Like,
Yeah.
Like we even got like 14 at the same time. We're like,
Yeah.
most of them are mid. And Chris and I come from the South, so like our fried chicken experience is a little different than the rest of the world. It's like,
Totally.
it's just better.
Yeah.
We're just better. Like we're terrible in education, great in fried chicken.
We know you guys are great.
Yeah.
You're great at fried chicken,
But
for sure.
you're exactly right. Like it was so weird. I saw like 16 Nashville Hots. I was like, we
Yeah.
only need like 2. Like
Yeah.
everything.
And
took
they
off.
both need to be good. Otherwise, like, what's the point of even
Shout out
Yeah.
to
opening
True
one?
Brewing. I think that's maybe the
Yeah.
That's what everyone
Is that
says.
music? Is that music?
Yeah,
City?
Music City. That's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
And I
don't know
think
the
it's
name.
probably because Nashville was really gaining steam
Yes.
like around that time.
Yeah.
It's kind of in that same camp as us in Austin. They saw that real large boom of folks that were like, oh, let's move to a city out of a southern or any town that's like you know, you mentioned small town Michigan going
Yeah.
to Chicago. That's what. And Cassidy Eats is a friend of ours, and she did the same thing out of Peoria, Iowa. Shout out to fucking me for remembering that. I've been told I have the memory of an elephant. It's not true. But anyways, yeah, you're exactly right. Kind of flock to a city that you can kind of thrive
Yeah,
in.
and it wasn't like, oh, this is a gigantic city that, like, you know, I run into people all the time. I say this now that you know Denver, you can't really go out. Like, I've ducked down a lot of grocery store aisles to be like, I don't want to see the guy from work right now.
Oh,
You
that's
know?
the
A little
worst.
too intimate.
You know, so it's
of
like
a
it's
scene.
actually a pretty small city compared to like Chicago. That only happened a couple times, and you'd have to really be somewhere like specific to that person. Here, you're like, oh, I'm out for this or whatever, and I ran into this guy, and it's all walks of life. It's not just like, oh, we run into our weed friends because we're out here at this weed thing. We're like, we run into everyone everywhere now.
We ran into Kip on
We
Saturday.
ran into you on Saturday at the Denver
Oh,
Central
DC.
Market.
Central Market.
Hey, fun
Yeah.
fact, Denver Central Market is the #1 most photographed location in all of Colorado. So when we had an
Wow.
episode on Tuesday that was called Family Time, we dipped in there for like a minute just to show the sister's boyfriend. I was about to say girlfriend. The sister's boyfriend, just like, hey, look at this is the local market, and we ran into y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a night. I mean,
It was
it's
a
a
fucking
great
nightmare.
spot.
It was
It wasn't-
packed.
it
Like
wasn't
we
nice
couldn't
there.
even get a
Cute.
drink.
We
or
were like,
snack.
oh, what were we thinking? We had our daughter too, so we're like, we can't just drag her in here and make her stand at the bar.
That's
by
when you go to
us,
Pit Fiend
you know?
slash our mutual
Yeah, our
friend.
mutual
Like,
It's a
hey,
great spot.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously y'all know the food game, but have found yourselves in the cannabis space.
Yeah.
The way we actually were all introduced was through exactly that. Dank ass edibles that will actually make Chris feel edibles. And it was 4 or 5 years ago at this point, but it's been a long road to hoe. And so how did y'all find that kind of migration from food into cannabis and then edibles?
So like I was mostly during COVID. I'm like, oh wow, there's people on Instagram that are selling edibles, and it wasn't even like, I was just like, I want to get some. I want some dessert. Like I want a jar of something or whatever it was, And so I tried. I got it, and I was just like, man, this is like there is weed in this, and that is a plus. That isn't a great aspect, but I really wanted it to be a good dessert. So I was like, why? I should just make it. Like if all I have to do is get the stuff to put in it, why don't I just make it? And then it was like, well, a light bulb went off because a few friends came over to try like dinner and have some chocolate mousse after dessert. And I'm like, let me try this on them. And so it was just a revelation of like, I can put this in anything I want in the traditional market. So that's another whole aspect of like, I could do whatever I wanted back then. I'm like, I could make a mousse jar. I could make someone a chocolate cake if I want, whatever I wanted, And so that was kind of what led us to doing it, was like having a mediocre version of what we wanted to have weed in, being able to only buy that. And it was like, if you wanted to buy something good, you could buy like Lady Livy chocolates or something. Like you could buy something good online. You'd have to go online and really like get something sent to you from a different state, and that was too dangerous for us.
But
whole life
one
going
thing
on.
that is a little fickle with that is that if it tastes fucking good, god damn it, I want to eat like 15 of these.
Yeah.
And one thing y'all did that kind of captured the, we'll call it the interesting market out there, was that the bugles were immaculate, and they had a little punch that they packed, and then that fucking nerd rope.
That was during
Yeah.
the pandemic.
I
I
watched
remember
Chris
that.
just like fade.
Yeah.
Like,
I still get messages on my Instagram to this day, people asking about those, people sending me pictures that they have them in the freezer
Yeah,
still.
I'm like, oh, you have one in your freezer? Like, how can I get that? You know what I mean?
it's like having a Princess Diana beanie baby. I totally
It's
agree.
Exactly.
Yes, it is. If you're a pothead, like that's what else could be better?
You're not wrong, but and at the same time, I applaud y'all because obviously that it's like I said, it's been a long road, but COVID kind of set back everybody. Y'all are capturing that same market that y'all had in the former industry now in the present day. And so we wanted to kind of learn a little bit more about how was it reestablishing yourself under a legitimacy brand?
Yeah, I think that our fan base that we had from the traditional market has really come out for us since we've been in the stores. And they've been spreading the word, sharing on Instagram, and it's been really fun to see, I've missed that interaction. We really didn't really have anything to sell or show before, and we were just talking to our customers through making content that we were able to do without having a product to sell. But it's been fun to like start doing that all again.
And
Yeah.
y'all aren't just medicinal. Obviously, I didn't mean to besmirch the brand because y'all have the blue raspberry lemonade and the passion fruit lime on the recreational side, but you have and I'll fuck this word up. I say lychee, you say lychee, the lychee kiwi and the tiger's blood, which
Yeah.
I know that tickles Chris's pickle. We were roommates. It's not a big deal. I know exactly what works. The tiger's blood is just, if that doesn't take you back to nostalgia, like 1999 New Orleans, I don't know what it does. But y'all have got both medicinal and recreational. So for
Yes.
those that are listening to this, they're like, fuck, I want to try these chefs' dank ass gummies. We can find on the rec side too.
Absolutely, and they are vegan, and that's a really, really important fact that I want everyone to know. They are vegan. And we didn't do that because we're vegans. We did that because we wanted to create a nice, clean product for our customers. And by removing the gelatin, we think that that makes it a cleaner product.
Is it pectin?
It is a pectin jelly.
So that'll
yeah.
actually hold up. So as we're listening to this in spring and summer, if that thing accidentally leaves in your car, it'll still play.
You'll be fine.
Well, let's not say that. I'm still pretty fucked. But at the same time, yeah. Before we dive into some personal questions, let's talk about favorite flavors and the process of manufacturing. How are y'all, procuring? Are we growing? How are we getting the products that taste so great? Because it's obviously catching the city by storm.
Like we're actually about to drop another product next week. And I guess I'm just going to say what it's called because it's called Wing Bling, and it's going to be a collaboration with Soy Cubano. And It's a solventless rosin wing
Buffalo
sauce, and it's going to be amazing. I mean, it is amazing, but it's going to be amazing for our customers and our fans, because we're like, these are taking us back to the products that we're known for.
So the objective is
Yeah.
to like take the sauce home. You're making your own grill and chill for like, it's spring, it's summer. We just talked about
Yes.
exactly that.
Yes.
And you can just, are y'all going to do cap measuring as 10 and then it spreads out kind of like fluidly through a dozen?
And we're going to do some content and show people
How to do
ways
it?
to jazz it up.
Reach out to Eddie and Evan over at King of Wings.
Oh, yeah. Love those
We
We've
guys.
done some work with them.
them.
They have great chicken wings.
Yeah.
And their
They're
hot sauce
amazing.
upstairs, I use it as lube myself.
Oh, hell yeah.
Speaking of,
I
before
saw
we
your
dive,
post about their
yeah,
wings,
it's great.
yesterday.
Like, I can't wait. And Saucy Southern, some Mississippi guys that we know as well, but they did it through, sorry, I got the hiccups. Not Frost, but whomever was before Frost, Diego Palacero.
Oh yeah, yeah, I
Y'all
remember
remember that?
Yeah, of
They were doing
course.
chicken wings outside and they had a sauce inside. And now that they are doing restaurant stuff, oh my God, it's a great
have
combo.
to try that.
Savory is not there anymore. Like
Yeah.
I feel like Numbnuts doing the peanut butter is the closest quality product that you can get that has, I guess, infusion for savory. Oh my God, I can't wait. Buffalo sauce.
Yeah, wait,
Stoked.
can I, the detail that you left out is that it's being made with Soy Cubano's garlic breath.
That
rosin.
is the coolest part.
So I
It's a fun
feel like
pairing.
it'll just be a
It's
fun
like
pairing.
just one of
a
those,
little
you know,
real savory.
Yeah, and it's also, I think it's bringing us back, like I said before, to like, we're chefs. A big part of the reason why we're doing it's like a big part of my like, it's tough because I'm a chef and I'm like, oh, I want to do this thing, but the laws in Colorado are keeping me from doing this. So it's not only how can I work around that, but then how can I like show people what they can do with other things that aren't just a jelly, a gummy, a chocolate bar, or whatever. Like I want to be able to still have those things to offer, but also how can we do this and show somebody that they can take this home and make it themselves?
Right.
And then
Entertain with
we can still be a part of their experience without making it for them.
Totally.
They can still say, I want my wing this way. Whatever they want to do, it can be that way. And they can do, what they want with it. So I should say vegetarian, if nothing else,
Yeah.
because I don't know that the sauce is vegan.
Yeah,
But
we don't know.
If you had bits of
I don't
real
think it is.
chicken in
It's
there,
not.
it'd be funny, though.
I
there's
think
not.
it has butter flavoring.
It has butter
and that
flavoring.
makes me believe that it isn't. So.
So double check on that. But then also like I'm curious when you're talking about like kind of giving the consumer more options to do what they want to do. Like, I mean, future thoughts, future goals. Like you got a wing sauce. Are we doing like a ketchup? Or no, I'm just kidding. But like, do we have like other ideas like other than like the gummies and the traditional chocolate bars?
That's what I want people to know more than anything is we're not a one-trick pony. We never were, and we aren't going to be one. We're not going to just stay with one thing. We're already innovating and working on the next thing. So yes, I'd say that like I have a whole line of ideas of like how I can also empower the consumer to, like I said, create themselves.
Horse
Like,
milk.
hey, I gave you a brownie mix or something to like where you can take it home and you can, you don't need to make the brownie yourself, but maybe you wanted to add something cool to it or make it for somebody yourself in a way that empowers them to do it.
It's not a bad way. One thing that does a little bit concern me is as an idiot that was younger that did butter, I was like, oh, one of them packs a punch and the other one does not. So tread lightly if you have idiot bakers like this guy. But no, I like that inventiveness and thinking of like, how can we make it more enjoyable at home, which is where everyone has to consume. So
Yeah.
that's exactly it. Like make your house smell like brownies, like, and catch a fade in the process.
Yeah, and feel like I actually like, they might have mixed it up for me, but I actually made this. Like a lot of people buy brownie mixes at home. Like I'm a pastry chef and even I buy them because I'm just like, sometimes I just want a fast brownie. It like reminds me of the Christina Tosi episode of like Chef's Table. She walks down the cereal aisle and she's just like picking out. That's what I do. I'm like, I go into the candy aisle and I'm like, what do I feel like eating right now? And what does a consumer want to have? Like, let's mix this together and let's put it in something. And that's, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people get to do that because we're working in an industry where everyone just gummyizes things and like, that's fine because that's all the like inventiveness we're allowed to have based on the laws.
Yeah, that sucks.
It makes it hard, but it also makes it fun because you're like, how can I challenge that? And how can I make something that isn't just a gummy in this kind of climate?
Where can people find your products now?
There's a long list of places now. I think we're in 12 locations.
Are we
in
on
the
Weed
state.
Maps for those that maybe?
We're
a
on
little-
Weed
We are.
Maps. You
So
can go to our Instagram page.
I feel like that's the best way most days these days.
It is, yeah. I actually, you know, like when I'm finding out
It shows, like,
information, I'm
distance.
definitely weed mapping myself. It's like Googling yourself. You're like, oh, where am I at on here now? And like,
Yeah. Do they have all the
Do they have
pictures?
my picture like the right way? Do I need to
Right.
call them and see? You know, like, yeah, I've weed mapped myself.
They're reliable. It's kind of like looking for exactly that of a customer. You know, like it's like, oh, where's
You
this
wanna
gas
know.
station? It's like where? Okay, perfect. So
Totally.
check out Skyland Canteen, and if you want to follow them on social or just find the links through them, what's the social?
It's at _Skyland _canteen _. I know that's a lot, but
No, we get it.
yeah.
We know the game.
But on there, on our highlights, I update which locations where you can find us rec or med. So that's the that's the
that's
latest
nice.
spot. Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
totally.
Yeah, until we get our own website up, that's the best we can do, and like it's pretty good because most of the places we sell to have an Instagram to link to it, so it's great for us because we can cross post and it, like you said, it's all about networking and relationships, and that's what we're really good at too. Outside of being chefs, like we love people. We're concert people. We love, you know, that's how we met, seeing shows. So we're like, we love being social, and that's part of this job that we love probably almost more than cooking. So,
I'd agree.
yeah.
Okay, well then that leads us into, we'll do a little quick personal section if y'all don't mind.
Cool.
Let's take off the work hats. Let's relax. I think we got to go food here, and it's the Stoned Appetit question of the week presented by our friends over at Starbuds. I can't tell you who has what on what shelves, but I do know that Starbuds has always been there for us, so we do appreciate Starbuds. Thank y'all so much. When we talk Weed Maps, you can Google it. You'll find a Starbuds nearest you. Go in there, sign up for their loyalty program. That'll do the job. Question of the night. Y'all are both foodies. What is that guilty pleasure late night snack that y'all will crave after either a long night on the road, maybe you've been working, maybe the kid's sick, and you're just like, I just need a snack that's a reprieve. What's y'all's guilty pleasure late night snack that's always reliable in the pantry, fridge, or freezer?
You go first.
What am I gonna say? Do you already know? What,
No, I'm
if
laughing
you,
at- I'm
if
laughing
you,
at
Then you
mine.
say yours because you know it.
Okay, for sure. I'm straight up Tony Sopranoing it. I'm getting cold cuts out of the fridge and I'm just dipping it right into the fucking jar of mayo.
Oh
Like
my
a
God,
slob.
What the
You're
fuck?
not putting any bread.
Like a slob, dude. No, late
Cancel
night.
this episode. Fucking slobs of
So
mayo.
just like
Fuck, why
just
would anybody
like
trust you? It's crazy. It's crazy. Just like the cure.
That's a chef thing too. That's like a
know.
where's my trash can to eat over? If
yeah.
I don't have that, I
Smoked
can't
turkey,
eat
I
this.
do it
Yeah.
over the sink, but it's the
In front
I
of the
like to do the
fridge.
meat rolled with cheese. I'm not some. What the fuck? Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
I love you, Kev.
What kind of mayo so that we can judge you appropriately?
Usually Hellman's. Yeah, or whatever they call it out here. Best
Foods?
Best foods.
as long as it's not Miracle Whip.
Dude,
Oh, that's
That's
not
not
mayo.
mayo.
Chris is team mayo, so it's okay.
mayo.
I'm the only one that's anti-mayo here on the pod.
Oh gosh.
Eve, are you
He'll
anti-mayo?
eat mayo. He just doesn't like it when it's called mayo. He
Oh,
prefers
I don't
aiolis.
like. No, I don't prefer aiolis. And the people that dip the French fries in them are fucking psychos. Like I would report them to the FBI if they weren't busy dealing with January Sixers. Fucking hate mayo. Aioli sucks. The only thing I enjoy is blue cheese dressing. Everything
blue
else is
cheese.
a vinaigrette. Thank you, Chris. Dick. And hot sauce. I love good hot sauce.
Hell
So
yeah.
your buffalo has my pickle tickled.
I'm excited.
And what's your guilty pleasure late night snack? Please don't say mayo.
No, definitely not mayo.
What if it's
Mine's
like a big jar and they just share it?
mine's like if I have it, guacamole because it's just the best. But if I don't, just a grilled cheese. Because it's
A
like it's
GC
so
is always
easy.
a-
It's hot. It's good. It's crusty. It's melty. It's all the stuff, but it takes like 5 seconds.
And if you put mayo on the outside, it's very crusty
I
and delicious.
actually am an anti outside of the grilled cheese mayo
So
person.
you just like it
do butter?
sogified?
I do butter. Like I do butter, and you gotta make
Butter
sure. Sometimes
works.
I'll
Butter
even melt
works.
too much butter in it and like let it soak around
Yeah.
in it.
And then
Not
it's like
just-
it's
not just
crispy, but it's
put a
really
little on,
unhealthy.
like-
I love that. I love it.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like healthy. at all.
I mean, to be fair, both of those are genuine answers. Yours is unbelievably New York, and I love that about you. This is a quick question before we go. I know we've hit our number. Do you put a mayonnaise on an Italian sandwich? or a cold cut or whatever the fuck y'all call it up there?
Like Italian cold cuts? No, generally not.
It's just a red vin and an oil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the oil really doesn't go well with mayo on
Yeah,
a,
it's too
on
much.
a cold
When it
sandwich.
got enough
mixes, the
already?
red vinaigrette or the red vinegar and the mayo just makes this gross pink sauce.
Yeah,
that
I can
doesn't
go without
belong
that.
on
No.
anything.
I love it. I just needed that affirmation right there before the end. That made me feel better. So it wasn't like, as someone who grew up on Subway, and it was just like watching people
Oh,
just
yeah,
like get
it's-
the triple line. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's a triple line of mayo. Oh my god.
and I mean, we didn't have a lot of
God,
delis
Subway.
in rural Mississippi, and even if it's not, if it's the most urban, it's still like we don't have Italian cold cuts. So I had to just clarify for the crowd. Y'all, I can't emphasize enough, the Skyland Canteen tins hit delightfully. There's a good bounce on them. It's not spongy to where you cut through it too much. The flavor's delicious. I'm excited about this Tiger Blood. We're gonna have to get Chris's reaction from the 50s. Tom, I'm excited to see y'all continue to take over the state. It's been a long time coming. Thank y'all so much for joining us on today's podcast.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
for having us. We're
Seriously.
incredibly grateful, and we can't thank you enough.
Before we go, give everybody a quick rundown. Website, socials, all the ways to find y'all's products in stores. They really do slap. Vegan gummies from Skyland Canteen.
So right now we don't have a website right now. We're working on all this.
construction.
It's under
Yeah, we're
construction.
getting
yeah.
it.
We are working on that. Right now you can find us at _Skyland_Canteen_ on Instagram. I do my best to answer all the messages that I get. So if you have any questions, please hit me up. I'm still working through a bunch of them. But very accessible on there. So if anybody wants to hit me up, want to collab, any rosin companies out there, hit me up.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait to try this. Fucking
I can't
buffalo
wait to
wing
watch
sauce.
you try this. Oh yeah, that too. 100 milligrams?
It's going to be 250.
All right, we'll fuck with that. Until next week, stay high, stay hungry.
Wing it.
Eve can't talk, but she wanted to say that she loves me and Chris so much that that's all she had to say. And cheers!
Oh, we should do Eve's sign
I can
off.
tell.